In a lot of respects, USB is just a pain in the neck because all the cables look the same, but they are not the same. You might be thinking, is he really going to do a video about a USB-C cable? Is that really worth my time? Strangely enough, I do get really excited about things like a really good cable. I have a drawer full of USB cables, and all I wanted was just a handful of cables that I knew were going to work for whatever I needed them to do. So I tried out a whole bunch of cables that I bought on Amazon, and one or two of them worked really well, most of them did not, and this really annoys me. Everything in my life now is connected with USB-C. I use USB-C to power some of my lights. I use them to charge my camera. Indeed, right now, while we are recording, this cable here is connected to the camera. It is recording to an SSD drive, and it is going live across USB-C. And everything I buy comes with a USB-C cable. So you would think, why would I need other cables? Well, if the cable is only that long and very short that comes with a particular hard drive that I buy, then that might not suit every purpose that I need. And sometimes they're a bit longer, but this one is good for charging up the audio on my microphones, but it's no good for data throughput. It's not going to work with my SSD drives. Some cables are really good for data. This is a Thunderbolt 3 cable, so it's a very good standard. I know this will work with most things. I need to have this cable plugged into my 10 gig Ethernet adapter. So I have all these cables. Some of them will be good for charging, some of them will be good for my SSD, some of them will connect to my camera, and I can move a lot of data about nice and quickly. But most of them are really short. Most of them are going to be maybe this long. I don't know what that is. That's not even half a meter. That's maybe 30 centimeters, that one. And that's not a very long cable if you want to plug something in across the other side of the room or connect to a microphone or something like that. So what I really wanted was just something that was really, really long. Something that we can use when we're tethering. So when we got the camera connected to the laptop and we're shooting and you can see the pictures coming up on the laptop, and you want a nice long cable and a cable that's not going to get damaged very easily. There's another brand of cable that we had used before. We'd bought a few of them. We've gone through a few of them and they were okay until they weren't. And honestly, just having one really good cable that you can trust means that when we turn up to a client site and we're ready to shoot, I know I'm ready to go and there's not going to be any drama. So when the guys at Angelbird said, we have some cables, are you interested in taking a look? And I was actually really excited. I was like, yes, that's what I'm looking for. That's the one. It's even got the little angled thing on the side, which I really like. I found that's really good with my old MacBook Air because I still have to use the USB to charge it. And I love having that one in the side so that the whole thing's not poking out and getting in the way. And one of the stands we use when we're on client site, it has a little ridge that goes around the edge so your laptop won't sort of slide off the stand. The problem is it catches on the cable. The cable goes right out. So you're putting pressure on the USB port, and that is the cable we've been looking for. It's a very substantial length, like that's got a bit of weight to it. It's got a bit of heft, especially if you're using something like this to power some of your lights. And a lot of my lighting these days, I can actually plug it in over USB. We're talking about lights that draw something like 65 watts, and I need the cable to keep up with that. Indeed, these are rated to 240 watts. I'm not sure that's something I really need. I don't necessarily need that rating so high. But I like the idea of having one cable that if I want to plug in an SSD drive, I know the cable will work. If I want to plug in my camera to charge, I know it'll work. If I want to plug my camera into the laptop and tether while I'm shooting, I know this will work. This isn't 3 meters, this is 4.5 meters. The last ones I bought were 3 meters. This is 4.5 meters. And how long is 4.5 meters? That is like a lot. It looks really small in the box, but 4.5 meters, that's seriously useful. You're going to have to learn the skill of rolling back up your cables at the end because that's an art form. One thing I really wish Angelbird had included with these was a little Velcro strap of some sort. I happen to have a little collection of those already, so I always got one on hand, and it just makes it much better for storage, because when you're not using it, or when you're in transit and you're traveling and you just want to gather it up, you can throw that in the camera bag and you're good to go. 4.5 meters, and I still have 20 gigabits per second data, and I still have 240 watts. I've just done a video with one of the Godox projector attachments where I'm putting like a 60 watt light on it, and we're using the USB cable to power that one. And now I have a 4.5 meter USB cable instead of a 3 meter. And that means I can put it anywhere in the room and I don't have to struggle so much to actually hook it into the power supply. I don't know if you've heard of Angelbird before, but this is where I got to know them most. I've been buying their SD cards and now their CF Express cards, and this is sort of my gold standard for data storage. So I think it's kind of weird that, they're making cables and stuff like that, but I guess it's the same space. It's data, right? Like, it's all about data. When I bought a whole bunch of cables off Amazon last year, there was one that worked really well. It was a pretty color. It was a bright purple, and I've tried ordering it since, and I can't work out which cable on Amazon today is the same cable that I bought before and actually worked, because I bought others that didn't work great. But one thing I really liked about the one cable that I bought that really worked was that it was a bright color. Having a standout color really is useful when you're in a busy shoot scene. Being able to readily see that you're not about to step on it or crash it or crunch through and rip your camera off the tripod or something like that is really, really good. And did I mention the little hooky thing on the end? I like that. I like that a lot. It's not actually just a bunch of wires. There is a microchip in there. So when you plug it into your computer or your camera, it gets power, the chip turns on, and it's handling the data between the two ends. There's actual processing going on to achieve the data throughput and to make it fast and to do all the error correction and stuff like that. You can still maintain up to 20 gigabits per second, which is pretty good. And to be honest, I'm probably good with something like 1 gigabit per second will actually be fast enough for my hard drives. But there are times you might want further data, and I don't want one cable that only goes to half a gig and another cable that goes to 20 gig. I want one cable that gives me the best of everything. They do have some smaller cables, like they've got the 2 meter one, and this is 1 meter. And these ones go to 40 gigabits per second, which is utilizing the maximum capacity of USB 4 specifications. I think this is a good little upgrade. I have so many cables that have given me grief over the years. And because USB has all these different standards, and some cables do this and some cables do that, in a lot of respects, USB is just a pain in the neck because all the cables look the same, but they are not the same. The way I see it, you really have a choice. You can go fishing on Amazon and end up paying lots of money for something that may or may not work, or starts working and then after a few weeks suddenly stops working, because that's happened to me as well. Or you just spend a little bit of extra money and get something really, really good that you can rely on, and that will make your life better. So yeah, I'm a little bit excited about these new cables from Angelbird. I especially like the lime colors. The lime colors work for me. So it might seem weird that I'm actually getting excited about a couple of USB-C cables, but there you are. That's the world we live in. I am really, really happy to see this. This is going to make my life better. And thank you very much for joining me today. Have a good one.